So we need to assign the GL accounts. For the GL account, that whatever you have created yesterday class, all those things we are going to integrate with asset accounting. The path is going to be financial accounting new, asset accounting, integration with general ledger accounting, assign GL accounts. Let me activate even the T code. Right, assign GL accounts. AO90 is the T code for this. So it is taking a lot of time. So chart of depreciation, we have already created the chart of depreciation, that is DRCA. Sorry, DRCD. I think system is a bit slow today. Okay. See, this is the chart of accounts for DRLB, DRL group, and DRCD is the chart of depreciation. Right. So both of these integrated with each other, that is integrated with each other. Now what we do, whatever the GL account that we have created, those GL accounts, few are balance sheet accounts, few are depreciation accounts. Right, let us select DRCA, double click on account determination. So it will show you the account determination. So account determination is nothing but, see, these are the account determination we have already created. This is DRLB AUC, that is asset under construction, DRLB building, land, plant and machinery. So all these things we have already created. Now what we need to do, we need to assign the GL accounts for each and everything. Say for example, you take buildings, buildings, DRL buildings. See, select DRL buildings, double click on balance sheet account. So here we need to assign, in case if you are going to procure an asset, to which account it has to be posted. Right. So in case of asset accounting, whenever you are going to procure an asset, whenever you want to sell an asset, whenever you want to provide depreciation, everything is automatic. Here we are not going to post any entry manually. Right. So everything will be triggered automatic line items. So let us see how we are going to do it. Now let us integrate the first. Here what we are telling to the system, in case, see, acquisition and production costs means what? For buildings, DRL buildings, if I am going to acquire or produce, these things should be debited to which account? See, buildings, GL account 2,10,000. So acquisition. So we are telling to the system, in case if I'm going to procure an asset, right, post to this account. And all these things you can drill down and you can see here. Right, buildings started with these things. Land, building, plant and machinery, AUC. Right? But anyhow, since we have Excel sheet, we'll see from here. So in case if you are going to acquire building, it should be posted here. Now retirement account assignment. These are the things which are not required as of now. Retirement account assignment means in case if I'm going to retire my asset. Retirement means you sell away, right, or scrap it anyway. Now loss made on asset retirement without revenue. So without revenue means, see, when you are going to get the loss on asset retirement without revenue, that is nothing but when you scrap one particular asset. In case if you are going to scrap it, to which account it should be posted? Similarly, clearing account, revenue from asset sale, gain from asset sale, loss from asset sale. Now loss made on asset retirement without revenue means, without revenue when you are going to get the loss, that is when you scrap the account. So loss on sale of asset, loss on scrapping of the asset. When you scrap an asset, 400 310, right? Put the GL account here. Clearing account, revenue from sale of asset. This is nothing but sale of asset account. And gain from asset sale. If you get any profit on asset sale, profit on sale of asset. Let us post here. Right, loss from asset sale. In case if you are going to get any loss on sale of asset, 400 311. Right, this is 400 310. Loss made on asset retirement without revenue, that is nothing but scrapping. Loss from asset sale is this. Gain from asset sale is this, right? So I want the GL account to be triggered when I post these transactions I have given here. So automatically system picks up these GL accounts. We need not even select GL accounts at the time of posting. Next, so see, it is a building is a depreciable asset. We have depreciation on building. So that's why here, in case if we are going to get any depreciation, what are the GL account that we have to use? Double click on depreciation. This is accumulated depreciation, expense account depreciation. So I told you whenever depreciation is posted, the accounting entry is going to be depreciation account data to accumulated depreciation account. So because so many people what they do is depreciation account data to asset they use. It is not to the asset. Right. Here because we have to maintain the historical value of the asset. That's why what we need to do is depreciation is an expenditure and accumulated depreciation is a liability. So depreciation account data to accumulated depreciation. So what is the accumulated depreciation account for building? Here we have created. Right, building accumulated depreciation 100 to 10. Then expense account depreciation for ordinary depreciation. This is expense account depreciation. Right. So whenever we are going to post any depreciation on building, I am telling to the system post to this account. Right. This is liability. This is expenditure. Right. So with reference to buildings, I have assigned the GL accounts. This is balance sheet GL account. This is nothing but the retirement account assignment, and these are the depreciations. Right. Come back. 1, 2. So for buildings I have completed. AUC. Similarly for AUC also we can complete it. Balance sheet account. AUC 2,90,000. Right. Other GL accounts are same because all these are all retirement accounts. When even AUC is retired, we have to post to this same. But in case of AUC, we will not have depreciation. So that's why depreciation GL account we need not assign. Why? Because AUC's name itself indicates that asset which is under construction. If when asset is under construction, we cannot provide depreciation unless it is complete. So that's why come back. Then coming to land. In case if I am going to procure land, what are the GL accounts? So land 2 lakhs 1. Same loss is the same account. Even here we don't have depreciation. There is no depreciation on land. Come back. Then plant and machinery. Select, double click on balance sheet account, plant and machinery, and acquisition and production costs. Plant and machinery 2 lakh 20. This is building, this is plant and machinery, and retirement GL accounts are same again. Then coming to depreciation, because we have depreciation on plant and machinery. So GL account to be posted, accumulated depreciation. So for plant and machinery, accumulated depreciation. Then the expense account depreciation. Right. See, accumulated depreciation on plant and machinery, depreciation on plant and machinery. Loss on scrap of asset, sale of asset, profit on sale of asset, loss on sale of asset. Right. So we have assigned for 4 account determination, we have assigned GL accounts. So what are the GL account that we have created, that we have assigned to? So DRLB asset accounting. Okay, so like this we have to assign the GL accounts, right? But this has to be done very carefully. You have to keep your body and mind together, then you have to do it, because even if you make any smallest error here, and if you post accounting entries, you cannot rectify it. So that's why you have to be very careful while assigning the GL accounts. Come back. So once the integration is over, specify document type for posting depreciation. Document type, generally AF is the document type which we use. Specify document type for posting depreciation. Right, define document type. We need not define specified document type for posting depreciation. But here we have to assign the number ranges. For depreciation posting, even depreciation automatically system will take. That is, we have to run it. So you have to run the depreciation run, then system will, on each and every asset, system will post it. Define document types. Here AF is the document type, depreciation postings. It will take us to again OBA7 document type. Double click on AF. 5 is the number range suggested by system. Now create number range. This is for DRLB. Click on interval 505. Year 2013. Number 5 lakhs 1 to 6 lakhs. Save it. So next, specify document type for posting depreciation. So we need not specify this. Automatically by default AF has been linked to the company code. You can see this. So our company code is Dr. Reddy Labs, right? DRLB AF. So here we need not do anything. Right, specify document type for posting. And here we need not do anything, of course. Specify intervals and posting rules. Country, okay, this is a problem always. Okay, leave it here, need not require. Okay. So that is what integration we have done it. Then coming to valuation, set charter depreciation areas as a class. This will do it later valuation part. Depreciation master data. Okay. So here define screen layout for asset master data. Screen layout for asset master data. So this kind of screen layout we have seen at several places. Right. OBC4 GL screen layout. Like that. We have vendor screen layout and customer screen layout. While creating the groups, we have already created those groups. Even here, in case of asset accounting, we will have some screens, asset MasterCard. Those screens will be controlled from here. Say for example, AS02. Here we do not have anything. Let me show you for 1000 company code. We have an asset.
Yeah. Hello. I can't hear you.
Sorry. Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah. Now I
Yeah, I'm
can.
sorry. So here, define screen layout for asset master data. The screen layout which we have created earlier, that is in the 6th or 7th step, the same thing is visible here. Right, screen layout rule for asset under construction. Right, whatever the fields we have here, all these fields are controlled from here. How we control, I'll show you. First one, say for example, Dr. Reddy Labs, BU means building. Select building layout rule. This is double click on logical field groups. Here we have general data, posting information, time dependent data, allocations, like that. If you observe here, general data, posting information, time dependent, allocations, origin, all these fields are logical field groups, right? So these groups are these things. See, general data, posting information, time dependent. Now again, in general data, select general data, field group rules. Here so many things are there. Don't disturb anything unless we know it, right? Description 1 required means here at the time of entry, the description should be system will ask compulsory, right? It will become mandatory field, right? When compared to posting information, time dependent data, this is important. Here everything should be in optional mode, should not have cost center because we do not have any cost centers, right? Come back, then select screen layout rule for assets under construction. Logical field groups, general data, everything, right? Required entry. You have to check first time dependent data. If it is cost center required entry, make it optional entry, because we cannot create cost center now, because unless you create the controlling area, etc., we cannot do that. Save it. Okay, saving part we'll do it later. But like this, you have to see that in the time dependent data, see that nothing should be, the cost center should not be mandatory, that is required entry. Come back. Then coming to land, logical field groups. Our botheration is mainly time dependent data. Here it should not have, see, cost center should not be, let us make it optional entry. Land is over. Plant and machinery. Select logical field groups. Right. Here should be required entry, that is description part. Whereas general data, posting information, time dependent, select time dependent. So see here required entry, make it optional entry. Nowhere don't keep the cost center required entry, because we cannot do that unless we create controlling area. save it. Right, similarly plant and material also you have seen. Right, everything is over now. So here, what are the screen layout rules that we have created? For each layout rule, we have created parameters, and not parameters, rather for each rule, we have adjusted that whether it is a required entry or optional entry, etc. Right, you need not touch anything except, because all the field status, that radio buttons, etc., they are arranged as per the requirement of the client, the standard requirement. Right, but cost center we have removed it. The reason being, we cannot create cost center unless we have a controlling area completely. So that's why what I have done is, so that I have not activated. That is, required entry was made optional entry. So here with this we have completed the screen layout rules. Here of course we need not do anything. Define screen layout for asset depreciation areas 1000 and 2000. So these two we are going to use depreciation on main asset number level, depreciation on sub asset number level. Anyhow, we'll see that later. And here also we'll have so many field status groups. Then coming to depreciation. Come to depreciation, ordinary depreciation, special depreciation, unplanned depreciation, valuation method. Go to valuation method, depreciation key, maintain depreciation key, calculation methods. Define base method, define declining balance method, define maximum amount methods, define multi-level method. Right. So here define multi-level method. This is important. We are going to create a multi-level method key first. Let's see what are the components of this multi-level method key. Just give me a second. So define multi-level method key. Let us see what we are going to do here. Click on this. Meanwhile, let us come back to okay. So here we are going to create a multi-level method key. Define multi-level method key, right? So purpose, everything I'll tell you. First, go to new entries, and I need to define one key number. I am taking this as DR1, right? DR1, that is Dr. Labs number one key. What is this? 5% straight line depreciation on admin buildings. So what I am doing here, 5% straight line depreciation on admin buildings for Dr. Labs. Right, DR1, this is the description part. I am telling to the system 5% depreciation on admin buildings. So this is the first key, multi-level method, Dr. Lab, first key is this. Validity start from ordinary depreciation start date. Means this rule of 5% depreciation should be applicable from the ordinary depreciation start date. Whenever the ordinary depreciation is the start date is there, from that date onward that percentage is applicable. But when that date is applicable, nothing but the date of procurement or the date of put to use, whatever it may be, whichever is earlier, whichever is latter, that will be the depreciation start date. Levels. Here we have multi-level method key. The name itself is multi-level method. See here, go to new entries. Here acquisition year. Acquisition year means I don't know when I'm going to acquire a particular asset, right? So that's why what I'm doing here, acquisition year may be in a year up to 9,999. Sorry. So here again it is asking for years. This is acquisition year, this is year. So this straight line 5% straight line method depreciation on admin building. So for this, how many years? Okay, let me tell you here. This is admin building. Let me take say 40 years. PR means period. Here base value, I'll tell you one acquisition value, percentage 5%. So what is this? So the meaning of this sentence, this line item is line is an asset, say depreciation key 5% depreciation key I'm preparing. For this depreciation key 5%, this is the actual technically system calculate 5% from here. And this is base level, base value What is meant by base value? 01 means acquisition value. So we are telling to the system, you calculate 5% on acquisition value. And for 40 years, this depreciation key is going to be applicable. Right? And 999. So this rule will be applicable for up to 9,999 years. Right? That is the main meaning. And one more thing what we can do here, actually let me save here first. What I can do, multi-level method. The meaning of multi-level method is that acquisition here, okay, now up to 999. I can take here 9999. Then here I can say next 10 years. I can say 01 depreciation key, and I can say 10% depreciation. So what we can do, after 40 years, next 10 years, I can say I can calculate depreciation at 10%, because say after some time asset will get depreciated at a fast rate. That's why we can do. So that's why multi-level method. But of course in India we don't use this. But the system has given a provision, right? But I'm removing this. I'm not going to keep this. Right? So this is nothing but the depreciation key. DR1 represents 5% depreciation on base value, means acquisition value. System is going to calculate depreciation on the acquisition value. So we are asking the system to calculate 5% depreciation on acquisition value for 40 years. Asset may be procured in any year up to 9,999 years. That is the meaning. Come back. Next, I want to create one more. DR2, 10% straight line depreciation on factory building, because 5% straight line depreciation on admin building. On factory building, generally the rate of depreciation will be high. Say DR2. %10 straight line method depreciation. Now, what is the meant by straight line method? And what is the other method? Here straight line method means, I think you might have studied this in BCom. Straight line method means every year we provide same rate of depreciation. Right, here that is straight line method. Here I'll tell you a little. Okay, let me complete this and then I'll tell you. Validity start date, same ordinary depreciation start date. Levels are going to be same. Here, say for example, factory building this is. So factory building cannot stay, say, for 25 years. More than 25 is not possible. Say 25. Period means period. Period nothing but, say, 25 years, 6 months. I can use like that. Base value again, 01. Percentage, 10%. Save it. Come back. Next entry. %12 WDV depreciation. See here, I want to show you straight line method, WDV both. So here 12% WDV. WDV means written down value method. SLM means straight line method. So straight line method is nothing but every year we provide depreciation on straight line basis. That is, say for example 10%. Every year 10% on, it will calculate on original cost of the asset. Right, original cost of the asset. But whereas in case of WDV method, system will calculate depreciation on the reduced value of depreciation. Remember that. Say here Asset retirement, asset transfer. Okay, here I think I made it somewhere. Say here, straight line method of depreciation, written down value of method, written down value method of depreciation. In straight line method, we calculate depreciation on the original acquisition value. But whereas in case of written down value method, depreciation is calculated on the written down value. Say for example, rate of depreciation 10%. Rate of depreciation 10%. Now asset acquired, say for example in 2012, right? First year depreciation is how much? 10% on original acquisition value, right? In 2013, same 10,000 on, that is 10% on 1 lakh. So in 2014, same 10,000, right? But whereas in case of written down value method, first year 10,000, 10%, and net book value. Net book value means asset value minus depreciation is nothing but net book value, NBV. So NBV will be 90,000. Asset original cost 1 lakh minus 10,000, 90,000. Now on 90,000, next year depreciation, now the net book value. So we have to calculate 10% on net book value, that is 9,000. Say second year is 9,000. Just give me a second. 1 minute. Right. So like this, every year when you calculate depreciation, depreciation is going to be calculated on the net book value here, right? But whereas in the straight line method, on the original value we calculate depreciation. That's why every year 10,000. But whereas here 1 lakh minus 10,000, 90,000. And on 90,000 minus 9,000, 81,000. 81,000 minus 81,000, there is a depreciation. So like this, every year depreciation will get reduced. Right, this is called WTU method. So here as a retirement, so like this we are creating the depreciation key, and next is DR3. DR3, 12% WDV depreciation on non-heavy plant and machinery. Just I want to show you how depreciation is going to be calculated on WDV method also. Levels, new entries, here. Say for example, non-heavy plant and machinery. Say for example, 10,000, 10 years. Base value. Here base value is nothing but, this is 12%. And base value is nothing but net book value. That is 24 net book value. That means what? System is going to calculate 12% on net book value. What is net book value? Here, this is the net book value. Right? I'm asking the system to calculate the depreciation on the net book value, not on original cost. But here on the original cost always 01 historical cost. But here net book value. So 24 is net book value. So we are telling to the system, you calculate 12% depreciation on net book value. So that is the meaning. Right, next. DR04. Sorry, DR4. That is nothing but 20% straight line method depreciation on heavy plant and machinery. Levels, so 20% here. New entries. Years, so heavy plant and machinery say 20 years I'll take. Base value. So WDV method or straight line method. Here let's say acquisition value means original cost of the asset. So we are asking the system to calculate depreciation on original cost of the asset. Original cost means original acquisition rate. Acquisition. Here I am taking 20%. So we have created 4 depreciation keys. DR1, 2, 3, 4. 5%, 10%, 12%, 20%. Right? Here WDV method, right? So these are the 4 depreciation keys we have created. Okay, anyhow, we have created this. Let us stop here today. Right, we'll continue tomorrow. Tomorrow, if required, will take little more time. And configuration part, I want to complete it tomorrow because asset accounting takes more time into configuration. Once we complete the configuration part, then business process will not take this much of time.